Hi, I'm Dr. Kim Sage. I'm a clinical psychologist in Newport Beach, California, and I make videos on mental health topics, helping you love, heal, and know yourself better and more. And today's video is about early pregnancy loss and ectopic pregnancy for women, and the research supporting that can be very traumatic for them, not only in the immediate aftermath of the loss of an early pregnancy loss, all the way up to 9 months afterwards. And so this is just a quick video letting you know that this is what it can be like for women and how to get resources and support if you need them, okay? All right, so the first thing to know is that for most women who have had an early pregnancy loss, they often haven't told anybody. So nobody really knows they're pregnant, or they feel like, oh, it was early on. So even if they do share with someone, they may not get the support that they wanted or they deserved or needed because it might be underestimated the impact. But it's really important to know that for so many women, they've been waiting to get pregnant for much of their life. And there's an attachment to the future baby and the dreams and the nursery and the child and their whole life sometimes. And so the pregnancy loss isn't just about the actual loss of the early beginning of pregnancy. It's about the attachment to all they were hoping and dreaming for afterwards. So you often have things like the spotting, the cramping, physical symptoms that can be painful and uncomfortable and scary. And women often end up in emergency rooms and doctor's offices. And there's this shocking factor in your brain where you're like, I can't believe this is happening. So there is a traumatic part when you first realize something's wrong. So you can then have, as I said, physical symptoms of pain, discomfort, and if you've had to have a D&C and go to the hospital or have your doctor's office provide a procedure, that can be very uncomfortable, painful, and extremely upsetting and disturbing to know that your baby that you had hoped for and wished for, and maybe the baby you saw on ultrasound is no longer there and being removed. So that can be very upsetting. The next thing is that, as I said, women often haven't told anybody, and so they often don't have support systems. Even in their partners, regardless of gender, sometimes partners just don't understand it's not their body, and they didn't necessarily have the same hopes and dreams or same experience. Obviously, if you've been trying to get pregnant for a long time, it's even harder, or if you've had multiple miscarriages, it's another level also. But this is just identifying the early stages and what that's like. Women often describe feeling a sense of a loss of control, feeling broken, not feeling like women. There can be this sort of isolation in going through the process because even if you have the greatest partner ever, you're the one going through it and it's happening to your body, at least in that regard. There's often a fear that you'll never get pregnant again. Obviously, if there have been fertility issues, that may be a real fear. There often can be waiting periods between the next pregnancy attempts. And so all of that can create memories and fears and traumas and replaying in your mind, and then just projecting your future fear on the next pregnancy, believing that, well, now that it happened once, it will happen again. And then it will just continue on, and that can be incredibly difficult for women. Many women talk about having the issue of wondering what the baby was and attaching to, let's say they had, whether you had children before or not, you had this fantasy of having a different gender child. And so you're not supposed to talk about that because it was an early pregnancy, but it doesn't matter for women. It's often very much a part of their grief and loss and mourning, and it can be very traumatic to think about. And so if you're having things like depression, anxiety, flashbacks, difficulty eating, difficulty with self-care, frequent intrusive thoughts or memories, if it's immobilizing you, I'll link down below some more symptoms of PTSD, but it is really important to get help and love and support if you need it. I'll also list some resources down below, specifically for women who have had pregnancy-related difficulties, whether it's miscarriage, loss, stillbirth. I do believe it's incredibly important, if you need help, to seek out a licensed mental health professional, and preferably one who has had training or experience and knowledge with specific issues around fertility and for infertility and loss, because those are experiences that it's important to understand, and certain types of protocols and treatments can be more effective than others. And the last thing I want to say is this, that there is no stage of pregnancy that it's not difficult to lose. There are just different issues that go with each one. I have many clients, if you've seen me, I say this, that you have getting pregnant. You have half the time you spend half your life trying not to get pregnant. Then you have getting pregnant. Then you have staying pregnant. Then you have having a healthy delivery and baby. Then you have newborns. Then you have getting through childhood and young adulthood and the teen years. And as a mother of 4, I can tell you it never ends. And so you worry all the time. But those of us who are more anxious and more stressors, we tend to do it even more. So there are many different factors associated with this issue, but please know that wherever you are in this process, if you need help and support, please get it. please take good care of yourself, and know that you are thought about and cared for. And if you want to post down below your own stories, your own resources, please do that. It can often be very isolating. Women often don't get to talk about it because we haven't even shared the news yet. And all these things can be really hard to navigate on our own. So thank you so much for your time. If you want more content, please subscribe and hit the bell. And just feel free to share whatever you want to share. And I thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Take good care. Thank you.